Yes.
Okay.
Alio, my dear friend, how wonderful to see you again for the first time. It's me, Seymour. I've never forgotten our first introduction. It always warmed my heart. What a tremendous pleasure meeting your acquaintance. It almost seems like ages since your last visit, though I suppose the polite thing to do would be to tell you where you and I met for the sake of disbelief. I think it's best that you uncover that for yourself. Remember now what I'm going to tell you later. The moment you turn this page, you transcend the limits of your reality and open the door to my realm. See you on the flip side. Mystic Realm. Books. Everywhere books bombard you, seemingly lunging forward in all directions in this particular dwelling you've abruptly found yourself in, with no idea where you are or how you even got here. Your eyes do a quick rummage about the place, searching for any clues that may reveal your new sudden whereabouts. But all you see are books. All you find are more books. Literary clutter interrupts just about every nook of this mysterious domicile. The walls are lined with stacked bookshelves portraying a barrage of color. It could be reasonable to assume that this may be some sort of eccentric study. However, with a little more scrutiny, it becomes apparent that this is no ordinary library, but rather something much more enchanted. For starters, they are not your everyday run-of-the-mill books. They are extraordinary in themselves. The workmanship and sheer attention to detail make each leather-bound novel a masterpiece to behold. But what makes this artistry all the more impressive is how there's just so many of them. Stacks upon stacks of fascinating textbooks flood the place. Literally, the jumbled piles on the floor are so disheveled that they appear to be defying gravity. The primary source of illumination seems to be coming from thin alabaster candles above. They're floating in midair, so you go to inspect the nearest candle, determined to get some kind of logical hold or explanation for the strange phenomenon. But sure enough, nothing is supporting any of them. Wait, there's something. What's this? A word is engraved on the candelabra, Harmo, but the last two letters are covered by gobs of cascading wax, although the last letter you can make out is to be a Y. Further inspection reveals that each of them has a unique word inscribed upon the golden holders. Those nearby read joy, comfort, tranquility, wisdom, and relaxation. Is that a scent of cinnamon occupying the air? The only noticeable glimpse of the outside world is visible through an egg-shaped window, but the view is partially blocked by, you guessed it, books. Peeking beyond obstruction, you come to notice that the exterior is draped in darkness. However, shimmering sparkles suddenly appear just beyond the glass. They're snowflakes. It's snowing, indeed. You just come to realize that the entire window pane is etched in white snow, white powder. Guess sometimes even the most obvious things can be overlooked. Between the decadence of books, there are a plethora of oddities scattered about the place. However, despite all the apparent clutter, the room still exudes a strong sense of comfort. It's unusual, given the tousled disorganization. One would expect that the atmosphere would be bothersome or tense, but quite the contrary. You feel entirely at ease. Anxiety and worries are melting away, as if the ambience itself was luring you with a sudden desire to relax and curl up with a good book. Unfortunately, the only visible furniture for who knows what else lurks beyond all these mounds of books is over by the fireplace, and judging by the size, it seems to be made for children. A penetrating gust of heat emanates from the fireplace, relinquishing the last bastion of tension you were holding on to. On both sides of the furnace stand bronze statues of griffins, with details so lifelike you can't help but stare a little longer than expected. You find yourself waiting, expecting their eyes to blink, but no such twitch occurs. However, it does appear like that these marvelous statues are breathing. Must be the flickering flames creating an optical illusion. Both of these wondrous creatures are perched atop some sort of luminous globe, with the action coming from inside. Closer observation reveals that the orbs contain a mesmerizing celestial galaxy inside. Stunning! The eagle heads are turned inward toward the dancing flames, and their outer wings protrude upward, supporting a large mantle. Atop the framing is all sorts of bric-a-brac, including an hourglass with sands falling upward. And of course, between all of these curious trinkets are more books. Cracks, pops, and tiny cinders spew from the fireplace, creating the only audible diversion in an otherwise tranquil room. The small furnishings are adorned with fanciful carvings that appear to be dancing, undoubtedly another illusion cast by the oscillating flames. On top of the desk sits a burning candle, a single book, and a few pieces of textured paper hanging over the edge. The weight of an ink jar, with a quill protruding, keeps the papers from falling. Wait, what's that? You notice a large table across the room, so you attempt to go and investigate. But suddenly you feel sink into the softest fur rug. Suddenly your feet sink into the softest fur rug you've ever experienced. Hold on, how did you become barefoot? What's going on here? The fur is so incredibly soft and silky smooth that the texture just cascades the soles of your feet. You can't help but bury and wiggle your toes in it. Then, without even realizing you moved, you find yourself over by the aforementioned desk. But you don't recall walking. The table is cluttered. There's a petite silver goblet near the center that is discharging a vaporous mist. The steamed fragrance emits apple cider and cinnamon. So that's where the smell was coming from. Surveying the upright books on the desk, some of the titles read The Wisdom of a Fool, The Prey, DNA, Revelation, True Deception. Two big eyeballs staring right at you. What? No, wait. There really are two big eyeballs staring at you. Giant sapphire eyes glide across the edge of the desk until an odd-looking fellow emerges, wearing such thick glasses that his eyes are magnified to nearly half the size of the head. He stands motionless, staring at you, seemingly bewildered by your presence as you are by his. The pint-sized misfit poses no need for alarm. He breaks the stillness by removing his glasses. Without the magnifying lenses, the character's eyes shrink to a size befitting to his face. Then, after giving his eyes a quick rub, he resumes his dumbfounded expression. "Helio?" he utters in a conspicuous accent. The little guy scratches his head in contemplation. Was I expecting company? I don't recall, he murmurs to himself while trying to place his glasses on into his vest pocket, missing several times before securing a successful insertion. Oh, serendipity, of course. I remember now, he blurts with enthusiasm. Why, come for a story you have. The weathered face of this cheerful gent, seems to suddenly shine with delight, as if he's flabbergasted by the ability to remember the purpose of your visit.